Hey guys, so today I'll be going through all the structure decks that are available. Alright, so we'll go off with the starting deck that everyone receives. This deck, incredibly mid, but like, the best card probably in this starter deck here. We have Call of the Haunted and Unexpected Die. Unexpected Die has some interesting uses, like with Unexpected Die you can summon Genius Loci. It, there are some gimmicks like that that you can use this one. And Ballista Squad, this is okay with Layer of Darkness. You can tribute any monster your opponent controls and then target one card your opponent controls to destroy it. It's honestly not that bad of a combo. And then we have Power of the Dragon. Power of the Dragon is honestly pretty bad. You have back to square one here. Not very good. Stamping Destruction. Boot of Summoning Dragon. There's pretty much nothing good here. Threatening Roar is useful for some like gimmicky strategies. But aside from that, there really isn't anything. Nothing interesting here at all. I mean, you get some Blue Eyes from this if you're building, like, if you're going to build Blue Eyes White Dragon, which helps you out a little bit. So, you got that going for you. And then we have Synchro of Unity. Synchro of Unity has MST and Chunk Synchron. Aside from that, I don't really want to talk about any of these cards. I don't think you would play, like, any of these, like, ever. Half Shut. Yeah. I mean, some of these do stuff, but like, maybe they did stuff like a decade ago. I don't think they're doing much now. Alright. Link Generation. Link Generation pairs decently well with the starter deck cards because you can Unexpected Die out the Protron, the Digitron. You can't really do much with the Collider. It's kind of weird. Exchanger. And then you have like Access Code at home here. Raster Liger. So the structure deck is like pretty whatever. Out of all of the starter structure decks here, Link Generation's probably got the most consistent strategy in the sense that you can consistently get out your stronger monsters, I guess. For the starting deck here, you don't really have too much. You're playing level 3s for some reason, and we have Kochi Dragon here. So, no idea why the level variance is so great here, but like, yeah, awkward. And then we have Recontract Universe. Recontract Universe is honestly one of the easiest to pick up, and not just easiest to pick up, but this deck honestly has one of the better win conditions, I guess. This is easy to pick up. So if you have Astraltopia after you make your card, then you can grab like a numbers protection, but your main goal is just to bring out Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray and equip it with Tornado Bringer and Lightning Blade, and that pretty much wins you like a good amount of matches. It's kind of hard to out, unironically, because Ultimate Leo Utopia has 5,000 attack points when equipped with Tornado Bringer and Lightning Blade, and it also has protection from battle card destruction. It cannot be targeted, and the quick spells cannot be destroyed. And then it has a monster negate to top all of that off. And you can extend further technically and get a little stronger, a little bit bigger. Pegasus Twin Saber equipped onto this gives you 2 like kind of on-field monster negates with a big beater that's kind of a bit hard to out. Magicians of Pendulum. Well, honestly, this one, not that great. The primary issue being how, well, I guess you have Duelist Alliance if you put in 3 of them, but there's no way for you to search the Pendulumgraph cards. Speaking of which, are they even here? No, Time Pendulumgraph isn't even here, but it's pretty easy to fit in. But aside from that, there's like no obvious win condition here with Magician and Pendulum. It's just 10 summon big guy, try to beat over your opponent's stuff, I guess. In the same line of thought here, we have the Heir to the Shiranui style. You just summon big guy. But this time you have Swallow Slash, which is pretty good. Aside from that, not much. You don't have much going for you here either, honestly. At least Solitaire is a 1-card combo, and Spirit Master can be a kind of 2-card combo. Well, actually, isn't it? Wait, it's not. Oh. Because you don't have like a Mizuki or Uni Zombie. Right. Not as good as I thought, but yeah. Going Digital Bug. Magnetic Mosquito. Bachi, Bachi, Bachi. Bachi. But let's see. So if I recall, the digital bug monsters have some kind of effect that changes your cards to defense position. And then you can summon the bugs to do some beat down. So for the solo structure decks, this is probably one of the better ones somehow. I don't think their spell traps and stuff are that good though, necessarily. The Glad Beast one. Yeah, it's kinda whatever. They give you some Glad Beasts here, but I believe not all of the good ones are here. So I think this is like okay, but it's not like the best. So for the Monarchs one, they don't really give you any good Monarchs. Yeah. The best one you guys, Rise of the Star Monarch, and I guess Caius the Shadow Monarch, which you cannot search. I don't see how this list is even playable. Being who sees the end of the world. This is okay. You can add stuff with Senju and Sonic Bird, but Manju I believe is just better. It's like both of these combined, so it's kind of like whatever, but you can generate Manju, I guess. Demise King of the Armageddon has a decent ability to clear. I don't know if you can really search this that well though. They don't give you like a pre-prep or anything. So, just as is, it's not that good. But if you want to build like a deck revolved around these monsters, then it's alright. But the Generate one, yeah, it doesn't look that great here either, mostly because of the lack of good extra deck monsters. Aside from that, it's just a bunch of normal monsters, mostly, right? Well, might as well be. They don't really do a hyper a lot in the structure deck. Diffusion, that's not that useful. And then we have Dragon Made to Order. Dragon Made to Order is weird because it has stuff like Checksum Dragon, Arc Brave Dragon. But I mean, this has a decent win condition of Shio, and it also gives you Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, which is pretty good. So, well, actually, there's also let's see, can we set this to no? But it also gives you Red Eyes Darkness Metal, which is a good card as well. And you do have the ability to like recycle Tidying. So if you buy 3 copies of this deck, it's not like the worst thing in the world. So Burning Spirits, you have Solomon Great Roar, and not much else. Well, I guess there was also the other thing. Let's see. There's Solomon Great Rage and Roar. You're just using these two to do some control. because none of your other monsters do anything, but it gives you some good cyber staples like Silent Mining, Lady Debug, and that's mostly it. I don't know why it gives you 2 copies of Heat Leo. Feels like kind of a cop-out. If it gave you Almirage, that would have been so much better. Or literally just the fusion monster, that would have been fine too. These are not, like, uncraftable. Like, if you buy all 3 copies, you just have 6 copies of an uncraftable Solomon Great Heat Leos. It's just, why? So then we have Immortal Glory. Yeah, you kind of have to buy 3 copies because all of these cards are just random trash otherwise. Like, Kasha. Yeah, I'm sure you'll manage Kasha. Devouring Sarcophagus. Quakey Meru, Golungulate. Ugh. And then the extra deck is pretty lackluster and it doesn't include Doom King. But overall, this is still okay because you can activate like Zombie World and start bringing stuff back. You have Bolin and you have Aldo Mazura. Return of the Zombies. Don't need to go on depth on that card, but this card's pretty sick nasty. And you do have access to Bloom as well, so it's actually okay. It's not that great, not that bad, just okay. Vortex of Magic. This is actually one of the better structure decks, believe it or not. Like, they gave you a lot of the key Dark Magician cards as well. Like, they give you Dark Magic Circle, Eternal Soul's a rare, so it's whatever. Dark Magician, it's a normal monster, but it's a UR, so we take it. And then Illusion of Chaos. This card's kind of crazy. It just does all your searches for you, and you're just having a good time. And looking for a certain card here. Well, I guess there's also a Soul Servant. You can just grab 3 copies of Soul Servant easily. Magician Salvation. Just in general, like, really good cards here. The extra deck is whatever. You probably won't be super going into these. You might go into like the Dark Magicians, I guess, but I think that's about it. Rage of Cypher. I don't know why, but it has Honest. Yeah, that's about it. There's also like Back to Front. This might be useful for something, but whatever. And then I feel nothing about this. There's also 2 copies of Cypher Wing here. But anyways, yeah. I don't think this, if I recall correctly, the structure isn't actually that good. It's missing a lot of like good cards that you would play with the Galaxy cards. And 2 copies of Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon for some reason. Ugh, why? There's like a rank 4 one they could have given you. So, it's actually fairly hard to go into the extra deck monsters, I'm pretty sure, off of just the structure deck cards. It looks like actual suffering. Like, Cypher Soldier? Bruh. Alright. Even at 3 copies, that one's probably not that good, but this one's pretty good, I'm pretty sure, right? Don't know why it gives you 2 copies of Cyber Dragon. We'll take the... You get Core here. It's... whatever. Cyber Emergency. Rebirth Judgment. I don't really know what you're doing with a Rebirth Judgment. Cyber Twin, Cyber Dark, Cyber End, Cyber Darkness, Cyber End Dragon. This one, I think, is kind of like just okay. I don't think it's super crazy, but I think you can actually get into the Cyber Dark Dragons. I don't know how consistent it is, though. Of course. And then we'll look at Spellbook of Prophecy. So... you have probably Hierophant. So, Hierophant of Prophecy is actually pretty decent. Once per turn, soft once per turn, you can detach an XYZ material from this card, and then you can destroy spell trap cards your opponent controls up to the number of spellbook spell cards in your graveyard. It doesn't do anything against monsters though, unfortunately. And then you have Empress of Prophecy, Fortune Lady Every, Arcanine Magician. Fortune Lady Every's a little weird, but alright. This card is Synchro Summon. Place 2 spell counters on it. This card gains 1000 attack for each spell counter on it. You can remove 1 spell counter from your field, then target 1 card your opponent. Controls destroy that target. This doesn't have a hard once per turn, so Arcanine Magician can pop 2 cards. It doesn't have that much attack once either. So I don't see a win con immediately when I'm looking at this deck. I don't even know why Magical Labra's here. Temperance, yeah. Breaker, World of Prophecy. I see, World of Prophecy is probably your win con. You wanna reveal 4 spell cards with different names in your hand, destroy all of the cards on the field. I don't think that'll be super easy to do though. Maybe you can fine tune it a bit, but meh. Pretty mid. So honestly, I think if I were to focus mostly on the structure decks in the shop, I think this one is the best one, just because it has a decent win condition. And then we'll probably put the this one, and then like this one. If you craft some cards, this one goes a lot harder than like these two. And you don't have to craft a high rarity card, so of course if you craft Doom King, this becomes pretty much a whole different deck. It's so much better. It's not even funny. In terms of Burning Spirits though, you're really not doing much with this deck, right? I don't think you can even really super easily beat over stuff, right? This if your opponent plays around this zone, it's just a 3,300 beater. I'm pretty sure that's as high as we go, right? I don't think we have any like honest effects. Maybe you do in Salaman grade or whatever, but well, that's not going to do a whole lot for you. Speaking of which, honest is just here. Just looking at this and losing brain cells here, man. Like, okay. Don't really know how you're supposed to get into rank 8 with these main deck monsters. It actually looks fairly hard. So just in terms of the cards in the structure decks, I think this one's probably one of the worst. I mean, if you pick up like maybe 1 copy, you might be happy, but I don't think you would ever go for 3 on here unless you really want honest. I don't really see anything super great about this one unless I'm missing something. For Immortal Glory, you have to pick this up at 3 because you want like 3 copies of Zombie World and Uni-Zombie and all that. Mostly, so whatever. For Magicians of Pendulum, you probably want to pick up 3 copies of this as well. For the Wisdom Eyes and Skull Acrobats as well. And there are a little stuff there. A lot of stuff there. In terms of like, if you just use this as a base and then build the full deck around it, Immortal Glory actually goes pretty hard just because Zombies just had a lot of URs gating it before, and Immortal Glory helps alleviate that a lot, but still somewhat expensive. That's more like dedicated to getting generics though, which is great. Cybernetic Successor didn't look super useful, like, to an extent. Like, in terms of URs. With Cyber and Cyberdark. Rebirth, Judgment, and then... Is that it? Is there not one more? Like, what? I'm pretty sure that's probably it. I think these are all lower rarity. So, pretty mid cybernetic successor actually, now that I look through it. I'm not exactly sure how you would do it, but the boss monsters are pretty solid. There's an unaffected monster and Omni negates multiple, so just for that I want to put it a bit higher. Well, there is no definitive list, but I want to put it higher on my, like, personal list, I guess, of structure deck. Best structure decks, I guess. It is definitely better than some of them. There's just star drawing here for some reason. Not really sure how you play this deck. It looks like a steaming pile of trash, just straight up to me. But I didn't read all the cards. I might be missing something. I just didn't see a concrete win condition in that. Maybe if you build upon this, it'll be kind of annoying. Like, you can Zhao against someone, but that strategy is only great going first. Going second, Zhao not gonna do that much. But it is the only way to get Spellbook of Judgment, I guess, and that might be able to pair alright with, like, Dark Magician. Dark Magician being pretty solid, giving you Magician Salvation and consistency cards as well, so it's one of the more consistent decks. So if I look at it with consistency in mind, like, Recontract probably takes the cake here. All you have to do is summon, like, 2 4s, and you're rolling once you craft Utopia Double. And Magician of Pendulum, it's pretty decently consistent. It's not crazily consistent. Dragon Maid, I don't think that's super consistent either. Immortal Glory, if you take Shiranui Salter from here, it just dies to hand traps even harder than like everything else. So it's kind of still yikes. But it's probably okay, I would think. Consistency wise, this one's pretty good as well. And then these look less consistent to me, and Burning Spirits is probably decently consistent, but like I couldn't really spot a win condition there. And then the rest of these decks, basically all of the solo decks, they're pretty much, yeah, they're just kind of trash, but they have some like decent generic cards in them, or cards that can be used with other strategies. Like, for example, Heir to the Shiranui style, you'll probably use this for zombies, the Shiranui Solitaires, and the Swallow Slashes. And that's great, but aside from that, there's not much else. For Sync of Unity, I did mention that, like, you can get Junk Synchron, but, yo, I mean, actually, this is just in the Junk pack. If you don't want to, if you just want to build Synchron and you don't want to go into the Junk pack, that helps you out with that, I guess. Because I don't think there was anything else. I don't think, or not much. Maybe there is, and I'm just crazy, but yeah. For the most part, a lot of the structures actually just suck in this game right now. For, like, decks that are worth, like, building off of. Well, I'd say this one is worth it. This one, this one, this one. That one, not so much. This one, you can probably build off of this one decently. Dragon Maid to Order is kind of like iffy because like Dragon Maids just aren't that good, honestly. Like, you could play branded Dragon Maid, but why would you just break yourself with Dragon Maid when you can just play pure branded? So I mean, it's not unplayable, but they're just better decks than Dragon Maid to Order, or Dragon Maids. So Dragon Maid to Order is not that good. Rage of Cypher, Galaxy Eyes ain't that great. Cyber Dragons is actually alright, but this structure deck doesn't contain all the cards I would like to see personally. Like, of course, there's no Galaxy Soldier in either of these, so you have to get Galaxy Soldier, and there's no Cyber Dragon Nova or the Cyber Dragon Infinity or whatever, so that's kind of also tragic. Spellbook of Prophecy. So the only thing I see is just cheesing people with Spellbook of Judgment. So aside from that, I don't see much else. And yeah, that's about it. So, well, that's all I've got for you guys today, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.